Elementally intuitive movement, week 4, spoon spinning. It's not really week 4, it's week 1 of spoon spinning. And week 1 of spoon spinning of 3 weeks to get through our 6 levels of elementally intuitive movement, focusing on metal is our implement here, our implement and our element. Rather than redo our first 3 elements, because water, air, and earth was already covered, they're going to be at the end of the 18-week series. Breathing. Breath is important. So we do our level O with our spoon. We maintain contact with the spoon. There's different ways to maintain contact with the spoon. Experiment with that. But we're still level O'ing. Shifting foot position. Breathing. Focusing on breath. Breath is life, y'all. It literally carries us from one moment to the other. The more present that we are in our breath, the more present we are within each moment. The longer that you can stretch out each breath, the longer you can prolong each moment. Maybe. The expression that we have on our face as we're breathing matters, because our nervous system reads our facial expressions, as do the nervous systems of the people around us, which is why sometimes people will misinterpret what we're saying because they're reading our facial cues or sound cues, and we didn't know that there was anything coming out. When we're frowning, our nervous systems register distress. And when we're smiling, our nervous systems register eustress. They both set off a different set of chemistry. One chemistry feels more pleasant than the other. Now we can train ourselves to adapt to eustress, cope with eustress, or not eustress, but distress, adapt to distress, cope with distress. Especially a lot of when we're in situations that we have no control over. Adaptation is how we survive. It's important. But if we do have control over our situation, to a certain extent, parameters, really, no matter what situation we're in, regardless of how much control we have or do not have in the situation, we have control over our breath, or we can if we practice it. Why is that important? Because that is the determination between you staying in a state of calm, alert, aware mode that's paying attention to what's going on in your environment objectively, or in a state of crisis where your consciousness is looking for problems. And when your consciousness is looking for problems, it is not going to be objective. That's when we're going to be most opinionated. And when we're most opinionated is when we tend to see some of the uglier aspects of our nature, especially towards the people that we love. And that's not fun to live through or experience for anybody involved in the situation ever. So when we start to feel emotional, when our thoughts start to race, when we start to feel judgment rising, when we feel those opinions coming up and saying, well, should have been this and I should have that and this isn't fair because blah, 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 whatever. Breathe. Breathe and remind yourself, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening right now. All I know for sure is that my nervous system is getting agitated and I need to do my part to keep it calm so that I can stay as objective as possible. And that is level 1. No, with our spoon, which it will be spinning. It'll be spinning eventually. But right now, it is just the connector from one hand to the other. And did you notice that your spoon got very warm by the end of the session? It's because metal is a conductor. Ooh, metal is a conductor.